Kamala Harris, speaking to the state attorneys generals, the Democratic state attorneys general, said, you guys are doing a good job going after the crisis pregnancy centers. You have Elizabeth Warren, the Democratic senator from Massachusetts, saying they need to be shut down in Massachusetts and they need to be shut down everywhere.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with senior columnist Tim Carney. And Tim, this week conservatives were really fired up about the arrest of a pro-life activist in Philadelphia by the FBI. A federal case was made against him for something that happened last year at a Planned Parenthood. Tell us about what's going on.
So yes, Mark Houck is a longtime pro-life activist, conservative activist broadly, and FBI agents showed up at his house on a Friday morning to arrest him for a alleged violation of the Fair Access to Clinic Entrances Act. So this is a federal law that particularly limits what protesters or anybody could do outside of an abortion clinic. And Houck had gotten in a scuffle with a pro-choice activist, but apparently that pro-choice activist was technically an escort, which sort of gives him like magic powers, where if you get in a fight with him, you're violating this federal law. So again, this had gone into Philadelphia Municipal Court. Nothing happened of it. Houck's family says that it was dismissed from Municipal Court, but now he's facing federal charges that could have him arrested for serving in prison for up to 11 years. So this seems like an extraordinary thing for a shoving incident a year ago to end up turning in an arrest and a potential 11-year prison sentence.
Part of why there was so much outrage about this arrest is because, first of all, the FACE Act that you just mentioned is supposed to apply equally to pro-life reproductive health centers and, pro-choice reproductive health centers. This is the first FACE case, brought against this, or one of the first since the Dobbs decision. And crisis pregnancy centers, these pro-life reproductive health clinics, have been facing a lot of attacks, haven't they?
All over the country. And that same weekend, you saw one get attacked for the second time, where, there was fire, there was windows smashed, and there's always a graffiti saying, if abortion isn't safe, neither are you, which is clearly a threat. And there's been no mention of these by the Department of Justice or by the White House. There's been certainly no action and no prosecutions, despite the fact that there's cameras, there's all sorts of stuff. So it really does seem like the Department of Justice is becoming part of the fight for abortion, not just blindly seeking justice, but going after pro-lifers and also not going after the people who are attacking pro-life institutions.
I spoke with the owner of a clinic in Buffalo, a pro-life clinic in Buffalo that had been firebombed over the summer, and he just sort of described working with the FBI, how frustrating that experience was, that he couldn't get in contact with anyone based on the investigation, and the extent of his interaction with the FBI really was a call from the FBI demanding he stop talking to the media about the situation, or else they wouldn't be able to continue to investigate. So, it's not just this double standard of law that's been frustrating for people who support the crisis pregnancy centers. There's Democrats who have been openly hostile towards them, right, including our vice president.
It's basically the official position of the Democratic Party now that pro-life crisis pregnancy centers should be shut down. That same weekend that Mark Houck was arrested, or the day before, Kamala Harris, speaking to the state attorneys generals, the Democratic state attorneys general, said, you guys are doing a good job going after the crisis pregnancy centers. You have Elizabeth Warren, the Democratic senator from Massachusetts, saying they need to be shut down in Massachusetts and they need to be shut down everywhere. So it's this full attack on everything pro-life, whether you are a sidewalk counselor or somebody praying outside of an abortion clinic, or whether you're somebody giving women pro-life options when they're in these difficult pregnancies. The federal government and the activist left are both coming after them.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Tim and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.